from part 2 of early Greek philosophy, early Ionian thinkers, Loeb Classical Library. And Heraclitus is our focus. It's the fragments. Fragments of Heraclitus are provided by a number of people. We have the original Greek, so if you disagree with the translation, you can look at the original Greek. The fundamental principles, all things are one. Hippolytus, after you have listened not to me, but to the Logos, it is wise to recognize that all things are one. When he says listen to the Logos, if you'd listen to it, and he says it here. This is the quotation from Hippolytus, refutation of all heresies. Now we have the opposites, the unity of opposites, conjoinings, wholes and not wholes. This is Aristotle. Conjoinings, wholes and not wholes, converging and diverging. Harmonious dissonance, and out of all things one. Out of one all things. This is seems to be Heraclitus, quoted by Aristotle. We're reading the fragments. Now we have Hippolytus. One day, God, day, night, winter, summer, war, peace, satiety, hunger. He changes just as fire, when it is mixed together with incense, is named according to the scent of each one. Named according to the scent of each one. Goodness, God. I don't know what he's saying.
What do you think?
He just says God. Day, night, winter, summer, war, peace, satiety, hunger. He changes just as fire, when it is mixed together with incense, is named according to the scent of each one. You see, it's a little cryptic, and they do not, Hippolytus, they do not comprehend how diverging it accords with itself. A backward turning, fitting together. It's as in harmony, as of a bow and a lyre. It says here that the bow and the lyre are the two fundamental attributes of Apollo. It's following a paraphrase of Plato. It said it converges with itself. It says, they do not comprehend how diverging it accords with itself. Backward turning, fitting together as of a bow and a lyre. Now we have Plutarch. Everybody's talking about Heraclitus. Plutarch says, on the generation of the soul in Plato's Timaeus, invisible fitting together being harmony, stronger than a visible one. Invisible fitting together, stronger than a visible one. So the invisible is fitting together in harmony. Hmm. Hmm. Now we go back to Hippolytus. He says, the way upward and downward, one and the same. The way you go up and down is one and the same. Hippolytus again, the way of carding combs, straight and crooked. This is a difficult and corrupt sentence, whatever that means. The way of carding combs, straight and crooked. Don't know what that. It's probably just a cryptic phrase, and it's kind of lost. The etymologicum magnum, the name of the bow, is life, but its work is death. The name of the bow is life, meaning, and the word is bios. The word bios in Greek.
It's Vios.
Bios. Vios? Vios or vios?
I said it already.
Vios. There's the word I can read Greek too. Vios. It's right there. It's like the word they use for biology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why is it pronounced with a B in biology instead of Vios?
Because we don't know how to pronounce it.
We don't know how to speak, basically. The name of the bow is life, but its work is death. Porphyry. How do you pronounce his name? Homework questions. Porphyry? Homeric questions on the Iliad. For on the circumference of a circle, the beginning and the end are in common, according to Heraclitus. In other words, it is uncertain how much of this sentence is to be attributed to Heraclitus because, besides the Ionic term in common, we don't know how much as that belongs to Heraclitus, other than in common. That's a strange little quote. Anyways, Clement of Alexandria, they would not know the name of justice if these things, unjust actions, did not exist. Well, it seems that he keeps saying that opposites, you wouldn't know what justice is without injustice, right? How could you distinguish something? How could there be states of being without the opposite? Is that what he's saying? I suppose so.
The difference that makes something.
How could there be opposites? How could you have anything without an opposite?
It's variations.
I don't know. Maybe it's obvious, but it's not obvious. Now we have Stobaeus ontology. Illness makes health sweet and good. Hunger does so for satiety, toil for repose. He's saying illness makes health sweet and good. Hunger does so for satiety, toil for repose. All right, so we enjoy health. It's sweet because we're not ill, basically, and hunger does. Being hungry makes being full.
No, you enjoy eating.
You enjoy eating because you're hungry?
You enjoy better and water.
And then toil means you, like, let's say you worked or you were active.
Then you enjoy the relaxation.
You enjoy relaxing after you worked hard, or pushed yourself and ran the marathon. Oh, that makes sense.
I thought you already knew that. I just think that.
We know that, but in a ways we don't stick to it, so we don't know it. There's this story about Paltu. What's his name? Sant Paltu or Paltu Sahib. These Granthi, these singers they sing the Guru Granth or something. They ask him how come they sing about this thing Nam all the time, but they don't have it or taste it. And he says, well, here, take this. Here, this is a drug you can chew on these. It's like a drug. Chew on it, but don't swallow any. And so they chew it, and they says, well, we chewed it, but nothing happened. And he said, well, that's just my point. They had chewed on all the words of the Guru Granth, but
So
they hadn't swallowed it.
So they had the expectation.
No, they had to swallow it to taste it. They never swallowed the words. All right. Anyways, now we have. Actually, I don't go much on beyond 10 minutes here. I'm gonna stop with this hunger and have you make coffee because I get hungry for chocolate and coffee. So
I know they give you 15 minutes.
I have to stop it and continue. We're reading from Heraclitus fragments with, of course, various fragments from various people and in the extremely scholarly Loeb Classical Library with the original Greek, ancient Greek, and we have a Greek scholar here to correct my pronunciation.